Perry D. Loretto for all he has done over the years for those serving in our armed forces. Thank you, Perry, again. It is, as the governor said, so wonderful the way the citizens of the United States have embraced those serving in uniform, particularly those who have deployed. And I think some of us older folks here can't help but feel so good about how soldiers and sailors and airmen are treated today. Those of us that came back from Vietnam, I had 2 combat tours in Vietnam. You almost had to slink back into your homes out of uniform. I was denied a hotel room in San Francisco because I was in uniform. While I was deployed, my first daughter was born and our house was trashed by anti-war protesters. So the change in attitude on the part of the civilian populace, no matter how your feelings are about the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, is extraordinarily welcome, and I thank everybody for that. Now it's my pleasure to ask another great friend to come to the podium. The Lieutenant Governor has been extremely active in promoting Veterans Affairs, heading up committees, sponsoring conferences, making sure that our soldiers and airmen, sailors and Marines all have the benefits that they are entitled to. He's been an extraordinary friend of the armed forces, and I'd like to present my friend, Lieutenant Governor Brian Krolicki.
Ty Cobb, I'll call you Tyra since you introduced yourself as Tyrus. Thank you for all that you've done to make today happen, and it's so nice to be here and see all these faces. You know, there's always a deployment issue. Some of you get deployed in the shade today, and some of you get in the direct sunlight. So again, I appreciate some of the hardship being faced today, but it's such a pleasure for me to be with you as part of the community covenant ceremony today. Governor Gibbons, it's always a pleasure, and thank you, General Abrams, Abe, if I may, for representing the Secretary of the Army today. And you've already heard him introduced and receive a proclamation, but Perry D. Loretto, you're an extraordinary man, and thank you for all that you've done for the veterans of this state and the things that you've done to help my office do things. General Burks, our new Adjutant General, it's a pleasure to see you and be with you today, and you'll be hearing from him shortly. And next to him is General Frank Gonzalez. He's the commander of the Nevada Army National Guard, and it's always good to see you, sir, and to all the distinguished and special guests that we have today. You know, I truly am honored to be part of a ceremony that celebrates Nevada's military men and women and their families. This is really one of the most important things that we can do. Community Covenant solidifies our commitment that we will continue to support and continue to be a resource for our active military personnel and their families during their time of service. We're also very proud of your sacrifices that you and your families have made in defense of our nation and our great state of Nevada. A little background as to why I'm privileged to be part of today's program. You know, military and veteran issues are not historically a focus of the Lieutenant Governor's office, but I'm proud to say that I have, as Todd has already mentioned, I have my senior policy staff advisor, a veteran on the global war on terrorism, and as part of my office and part of my staff, Caleb Cage. He's done a tremendous job articulating and advocating the needs of this generation of service members and the GWAT folks and veterans. Caleb, thank you so very much for what you do. Caleb is a proud graduate of the Washoe County Public Schools. He's just one of those special men that I met probably a dozen years now. He went to West Point, has had 2 tours in Iraq, and it's very special to have you as part of the Lieutenant Governor's team, Caleb, and it's just a pleasure to have you every day and the things that you do for us. And also inside this soldier is a heart of a poet, and some of you may have had the opportunity to read a book that he has co-authored about his experiences in Iraq, titled Gods of Diyala, Transfer of Command in Iraq. So again, congratulations on you and your book, Caleb. And I have to say, because it's always fun to embarrass Caleb, in the audience today is his senior policy advisor, Charlotte Cage, his mom. During this morning's program, we are celebrating the tremendous contributions of our service members and their families, and I want to talk just briefly about two initiatives that are being pursued by the Lieutenant Governor's office. First, we will be hosting the second annual Nevada Veterans Conference. It will be on Saturday, September 12th in Las Vegas at the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino. I hope some of you have had a chance to be with us at our first event, which was at the Pepper Mill in Reno, and I think just a great day. We had a wonderful turnout, and General Abizaid was part of the day, but just couldn't have been any better. So I'm excited that we will be proceeding with our second. And that's a segue for me. I want to thank the Nevada Office of Veteran Services, especially Director Tim Tates, for his support and the continued efforts that they always perform on behalf of Nevada's veteran community. Second, we are extremely proud of a new initiative that we are launching today, an oral history program that will be titled Battle-Born Nevada War Stories. Our office will be traveling to all 17 counties in Nevada to interview Nevada veterans on the global war on terrorism. These will be video and audio recordings, and they will be first-person, detailed accounts that will personalize the bravery and sacrifice shared by these veterans and their families, and will be available to the public on the Lieutenant Governor's website, gotta plug it, ltgov.nv.gov. Their oral history project will be a respectful and a fitting tribute to the soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines and their families who have given so much of themselves. Today's community covenant ceremony is a fitting and an appropriate tribute to our men and women in uniform, and again, certainly to their families. We're grateful for all of the sacrifices which you have so honorably and ably performed in often difficult and grueling circumstances in order to preserve the freedoms and the security of the folks back here at home. We shall never forget the skill and dedication of your service. The community covenant celebrates this service and sacrifice with a pledge that we will not forget the contract that we, your community, have with you and your families. So congratulations. It's been a great pleasure for me to be with you today, and full of pride and eagerly looking forward to signing the covenant. So again, congratulations. Thank you.
And Brian, thank you so much for all your office has been doing and will be doing for the veterans. And also a thanks to Carson City for co-hosting this event there. This was really a tremendous turnout, and we really appreciate all the support we get from the capital city. It's now my pleasure to introduce to you the newly appointed Adjutant General for the state of Nevada. He has an impressive record in combat and in senior positions at the Pentagon, as well as with the Air Guard and Guard here in Nevada. I'd like to say that I think he spent a lot of his career just keeping Giles and Ron Bath straight, which has been a very difficult task indeed. But we're very pleased to announce that the official assumption of command by the Adjutant General will be Saturday morning, 19th of September at 10 o'clock at the Guard headquarters. Will you please join me in welcoming the newly appointed Adjutant General of the state of Nevada, Brigadier General Bill Burks.